Welcome to the Friends of FEADies podcast, brought to you by Feed Canada, our funding partner, ISED, and founding partner, the Saskatchewan Food Centre. This show is all about celebrating the incredible journeys of female entrepreneurs in the agri-food and food manufacturing sector. We're here to dish out the secrets of success and serve up a side of inspiration along the way. We are the FEAD program where dreams are made, businesses are born, and the agri-food world is your oyster. Let's dine together. Welcome back to the Friends of FEADies podcast, the podcast that celebrates the founders, innovators, and change makers building Canada's food future. I'm your host, Lindsay Toth, and today we're exploring where food science meets entrepreneurship. My guest is Regan Michiels, co-founder of the Easy Snack Co. and program host of FEAD's Seed to Scale Accelerator. Regan's story combines research, innovation, and real-world problems that every busy person can relate to, trying to eat better when life gets hectic. Welcome to the show, Regan.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here.
I'm so glad to have you. So I just want to jump right in. Your background comes from university lab work into co-founding this business. Can you explain that process to the guests, everyone listening?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so really Easy Snack was started in my fourth year of university. So I was just finishing up my genetics undergrad. So I had classes, I was doing a fourth year thesis, but I was also working in the lab. So I had lots of things to balance. And it ended up resulting in me being on campus for 12, sometimes 14 hours a day. I would start at 8:30. Some of my classes would be at 8:30. And in between classes, I'd be at the lab and then going in between back and forth. And then I would end my day in the lab usually until like 10 p.m., sometimes 11. And then I would get home, and of course, after working so long, all day, why would I want to make food for myself? So I'd end up making like ramen, and then throughout the day, I was just eating like Tim Hortons, or I would throw in granola bars in my backpack, but I wouldn't eat anything really nutritious, and everything on campus I found was convenient, wasn't nutritious. So I was really struggling with that. And I always chose like convenience over nutrition, even though nutrition is something that I really have been working on in my life and it's something that I prioritize, but it just went out the window for convenience as soon as I got really busy. And so when my now co-founder, but before she was my supervisor in the lab, and so she's a postdoc in the lab I worked with. So she was my supervisor and mentor for my fourth year thesis. And throughout like my fourth year, we became like really great friends. And she became a really like great role model for me. And she was just sharing, she was doing a program on campus to support women in innovation, entrepreneurship, and just like commercialization of research. And she was like, I really have this idea for Easy Snack. And yeah, I really see it actually like helping people. And she basically just pitched Easy Snack to me. And I immediately related to it based off my problems that I was having every day with nutrition and the convenience behind it. And she was like, why isn't this talked about more? And why isn't there solutions for this that exist? And so from there, it just kind of, we took off. We teamed up. It was me and Josanne and Chloe. Those are my three co-founders. We're all scientists. And actually at the start, I was like, I can't join. You need a business person. I wouldn't bring any strength to the team that you don't have already. And then eventually it never got out of my head. So when I was ending up and like finishing up fourth year, I was like, okay, I'm ready to give this a shot and see if I like it and go from there. That's basically how we started.
Great. So people are just a little bit more familiar. Can you explain to them what kind of convenient snack products or products that you create?
Yeah, so what Josanne originally pitched to me was fruit pouches. So we're still developing those, but they're on the back burner now. So they're fruit and vegetable pouches, like kind of like Go-Go Squeeze, but better, where we add, because they're for adults, because we add fiber, protein, as well as the variety of fruits and vegetables, not just say apples and pears that really help your gut health, that variety really contribute to nutrition. And then while we were doing that, we had significant issues with packaging, as A lot of food founders do. So while we were like figuring that out, we realized people wanted a salty version. They were like, the pouches are really sweet. I'm not a sweet person. I like salty. So we were like, what can we do? Why not a fun hummus alternative? Because my co-founder, Chloe, she actually has a sensitivity to chickpeas. They upset her stomach. And we looked it up, and it actually is like common for chickpeas to upset people's stomachs. So we were like, okay, why not do a hummus alternative, but with all vegetables? So our first product was our beet dip, which is crazy because I hate beets. I have like major trauma with beets. I used to have to been force fed them pickled beets as a kid. No. So I was like, I don't know all about this. But Chloe brought it to us one day and I tried it and I actually loved it. So I was like, wow, if I can eat beets through this, then this is magic work. We need to do something. We have something here. So we really took off with the beet dips. There was a lot less logistical challenges. And then since then, we added a new flavor, our roasted red pepper flavor. And that's what we have right now. But we're continually thinking about new ways to add more fruits and vegetables into people's daily diets.
Oh, that's so great. Great mission to have. You've talked about how nearly 70% of Canadians aren't getting enough fruits and vegetables. Yeah. Why do you think this gap exists, and how do these insights shape your product?
Yeah, so we actually found that stat very early. So we knew each of us as co-founders were having this problem, but it was really important to us to figure out if it was a problem for the general population. And we did. We found actually 70% of Canadians don't eat enough fruits and vegetables, meaning they don't get their 5 servings a day. It's recommended that you get 5 servings of fruits and veggies a day, plus 2 additional servings of veggies, but just those 5 servings, 7% of Canadians don't eat them daily. So not only was it a problem with us, but it was a problem with the world. So from there, we were like, why does this gap exist? And I do think it exists because of mainly the business problem. Our world is becoming more and more quick, fast. We see trends come and go really quickly. So we're really, really busy. And I would say our lives are becoming more demanding. So we have a lot more priorities, a lot more commitments to things, and obviously that comes with being busy. And so when we were first starting to understand what the main barriers were to fruit and vegetable consumption, we didn't want to just assume. So we actually made a survey. And so we got people, friends, families, we would go to events with our dip and ask people to, if they do this survey for us, we'll give them a free dip. So we got a whole bunch of survey results and we got over 100 participants, and we asked if they weren't getting enough fruits and vegetables, but we asked them to rank out of 5 or 6 topics what the barrier was to your fruit and vegetable consumption. And 80 to 90% ranked time to prepare fruits and vegetables and the taste of fruit and vegetables really, really high. So yeah, I do think I agree. A lot of healthy products out there that are convenient don't taste good. So I myself would buy them, would try them once, hate it, and intend to eat it, but it would end up going bad in the fridge just because I can't eat something that doesn't taste good. So yeah, and so when creating our solutions, any solutions from now on, we really focus. Our number one priority is nutrition, of course, but second is convenience and taste. So all 3 of our co-founders have to love it, and we give it to family and friends, anyone that we can, to sample our product to see if they actually enjoy the taste.
Great. Okay, so this next question that I have here for you, you've kind of, I think, already answered a little bit of it in just talking about how you developed your product and stuff, but
Yeah.
how did your science background influence the way you approach product development? And did that formal training shape how you tested, iterated, or validated your ideas?
Yeah, for sure. There's 2 things. So research, so it allowed us to really like have the skill of researching what was the best nutritional foods to add to our products and what was the best way to do it so that we could add all of our ingredients are very intentionally added and science backed. So we read a lot of literature, and I'm thankful to have that skill and gained that skill through my time in university. And it's helped us a lot. It helped us with the surveys. So yeah, building our surveys, like we want actual real feedback. And then with actual product development, iterating, it's just like a science project. So we have our control and then we change one variable at a time. So for an example, our original beet dip had walnuts. It still does have walnuts, but we were like, is the benefit to trade off of walnuts worth it? Because it's obviously an allergen. So we know it would cut off a lot of our market. A lot of people wouldn't be able to even try it. And so we actually did that. That was one of our tests. We did our beet dip without walnuts. We tried other varieties of things like sunflower seeds as well. But honestly, the taste with the walnuts was our favorite, and the nutritional facts that we got with the walnuts adding protein to our dip, a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit, was worth having that allergen. So yeah, it was continually things like that, changing one variable at a time to get to our final perfected product in our eyes.
Oh, great.
Mhm.
So yeah, and it sounds like developing the dips came with some challenges like flavor, freshness, shelf life,
Yes.
keeping everything clean label. So, I mean, I guess you kind of just went into this a little bit, but like what is that process looking like for you guys?
It's hard because it's a balance. You always want to balance like the benefits and disadvantages of things. Like say if we were to add, we don't want to add preservatives, but it's a benefit to add preservatives because you get a bigger shelf stability. But the trade-off is not good enough for us to add them. So it's stuff like that, really weighing the benefits and the negatives of everything, every product that we're trying to add. The biggest thing for us was taste. Like we really, really made sure that out of all, it tasted great. And yeah, so that's essentially, does that answer the question? What was the
Yeah, I
question?
think so.
Yeah,
But
okay.
yeah, I think so. I think, and I mean, I think that it's funny because you would think that taste would be first and foremost for people, but sometimes like it can get backburnered because sometimes that's not your main focus. And at the end of the day, no matter what it is, what kind of food product it is, it has to taste good or people won't continue to keep buying it.
Yes, exactly. So we did sacrifice some nutritionals for taste, but that was worth it for us so that more people would want our product and actually enjoy eating it.
Yeah, and just creating that balance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as an early stage founder, what surprised you most about building a company from the ground up?
Especially coming from science, honestly, how supportive the entrepreneurship community is and how like beneficial it is for your growth as an entrepreneur. I think in science, I viewed it a bit differently. I felt a lot of competition, especially in undergrad, whereas especially like when our first big business win was getting into the Western Accelerator here on campus on Western. And getting in there was like my first opportunity to really be fully dived in the entrepreneurial community. And I cannot tell you how magical it was for me to first recognize how much momentum it creates to be in a room full of people that like think the same way as you, but not only that, support you, like truly support you. I feel like obviously there's some rotten eggs in the bunch, but most and almost everyone I've met has supported Easy Snack in a way that we would not be where we are today without the community that we have built. And yeah, so that was probably the most surprising part to me and the most rewarding part to me, and actually is what really made me fall in love with entrepreneurship.
I love to hear that. That's so great. So, balancing research and entrepreneurship, how do you kind of manage both those worlds and how do they like overlap in ways that are maybe useful for you?
Yeah, so I have had to get really good at time management. I was not very good before, like in undergrad. I would always like procrastinate a lot. I'd be doing assignments probably a day before they were due. But the importance of like actually planning out my weeks and planning out my days and intentionally dedicating where my time is going has been like instrumental in switching between those two contexts, because there are skills that are the same, but they're definitely different frames of your brain that to switch on and switch off is a lot sometimes. But there is definitely advantages to doing both. And like for one example is communication. So for science, we have to communicate what we have researched in the lab to people that might not even like do research. Doing those presentations, networking at conferences, it's the same thing with entrepreneurship. You have to be able to explain your product, explain your business to people that might not understand it, might not know anything about it. And being able to do the two for both roles that I do has really helped develop my communication skills. And it's still something I'm working on, but that's definitely what I've found to be like the most beneficial of doing two things, because yeah, the development in my communication has, and the reframing in my mind of how to communicate, to where it's like a story. In business, the pitch, the art of the pitch and the storytelling of your pitch has really brought great improvements to my science work, and the fact where we have to like intentionally pick out what to share out of our scientific research to convey the message that is proper, to that will connect with our audience that might not know anything about your research, is wonderful to take away for our business as well. So yeah, they
Yeah.
both add great things to each other.
Yeah, and yeah, being a strong communicator is an amazing skill to have.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, now that you just kind of mentioned talking about pitches and stuff, I'm
Yeah.
going to pivot here a little bit,
Okay.
because I would just love for you to tell everyone listening a little bit about the Seed to Scale Accelerator and kind of your perspective of it, having been the program host
Yeah.
for this program.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's an amazing program. I love that it's really a place every week. My favorite part was it was a place every week for women, specifically women founders, food founders, to come together province wide, like Canada wide, where we can share our successes, also share our challenges, because sharing our successes is beneficial for everyone, because you get motivation from other people's successes, and then you can build momentum from that, and then you build success, and then you share next week, and then that builds other people's success, and it's like a wonderful feedback loop. And then also being able to share challenges and relate with challenges and know you're not alone, because entrepreneurship has very high highs and very low lows, and to have a space that will get you through those lows, not only a community, but also having sessions that help you really refine your skills to help deal with challenges that might not even you know about for time to come. So yeah, it's been
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, and so what are some of like the common challenges you've seen for some of the early stage food founders?
For food founders specifically, it's I feel like a lot of food founders have their product. It's not hard for them to develop their actual food product, because obviously if you're a food founder, you love food, and you know your product more than anything. My biggest challenges that I see is one, packaging, how to package that product and actually get it to consumers. And that was one of our biggest problems with Easy Snack. With, say, our pouches, we're still having that problem. With the beet dip, figuring out even where to go to find packaging, and how to figure out like all these little things that you would think you could find easily online, but it's not that easy. So again, having that community that has been there helps you with that. And then also scaling. So scaling comes with a lot of different hurdles, like your recipe. We were just talking about it in our last session of Seeds to Scale. You can't just 500 times your 1 kilogram recipe to make 500 kilograms. It doesn't work that way. You're using different equipment. You're using, say, maybe a huge blender instead of a small blender. It causes changes that you wouldn't even think. And it's not even something that founders tend to think about when they create their food product. They just think, how do I get this to consumers? But it's really important to have that intention to create your food product to be able to go through those multiple iterations of skill that you'll go through throughout being a founder and growing your business.
Yeah, those are two great answers. I definitely relate to hearing about both of those as well.
Yeah.
One more question, just kind of related to the accelerator. If someone's thinking about joining a future program, what can they expect from your perspective of it, like between kind of, I guess, formal versus informal support
Yeah.
through the program?
Yeah. So lots of learning, first of all, like every week you're going to learn a lot of information. And I would say with that, it's hard to digest it all at once. And then for me, I want to be able to put that to work right away. So that's hard for me to balance. Okay, I have to go to these sessions, but I also want to put these sessions to work. So I would say make sure that you're carving out time to put your session knowledge into real world application with your business. And also just in terms of like community, in my opinion, community is the best part of entrepreneurship, and the connections that you'll grow with your founders, it'll like you with your fellow founders, even the people that you're having sessions with, the speakers, you don't know who's sitting next to you, who they are, or who they might be, and how they might be able to help you now or in the future. So that's what I would say is really building those connections is going to be the most integral part about building your business. And these sessions really help because they're really safe spaces to share your challenges, to share your wins, and to come out every week motivated and even more passionate about your business every session.
That's great. I love to hear that. And that is so true. Having ran similar accelerators over the last few years, I always enjoy seeing people get to meet in person for the first time, maybe at one of our in-person events. Or just, people keep coming back for webinars and seeing those kind of same faces over and over again. There's a community built within the accelerator, but in general, it brings people into the larger FEAD community, and we love to see that.
Yes. And I didn't
Okay.
even know about, yeah. It's okay.
All good. So gonna pivot a little bit, and I just kind of get your expertise on some of these areas, but where do you think functional snacks are headed in Canada, and kind of what trends are you paying attention to in your business?
So functional snacks, I think they're headed to, like, for me, functionality is that they're intentionally adding ingredients to do something for your body, for one part of your body intentionally, like fiber to support your digestive tract, things like that. And I think the trend of functional foods is going to be we don't have time to, I guess, get all these functional foods from different sources, like have a supplement for fiber or have like a million supplements that I take every day. We're going to want to see food that combines these multiple functional qualities in one. And then also, I mean, I'm in the convenience space, so I'm big on the growth in convenience foods and healthy convenience foods, because people are becoming more educated about food and how impactful nutrition is on your energy, your performance daily as a human being. I think, yeah, people are looking for more convenient ways that they can add in more variety of those functional foods, but also get them in a way that doesn't add mental load to your already huge loaded life.
Yeah. And how do you think science will continue to shape the next generation of food entrepreneurship?
For science, so this is actually something I've become more and more passionate about as a scientist getting into business. I would love to see more scientists being entrepreneurs. I think a lot of like the olden ways of thinking of science is that I need to either become a researcher, like in a prof at a university and stay in academia. And that's the only like successful path for scientists. Whereas I really truly don't believe that. It's great to have research. It's great to know things because then we're empowered, but it's only as great as we apply it. So I would really love to see more science applied to our food products. And I'm seeing that actually with like customers saying to us when we're out at markets and stuff, oh wow, we should have more scientists making food products because yeah, they're the ones knowledgeable. And I would love to even go back and do some food science degrees or do some even work with nutrition more to become more educated, to become more of an educator within the nutrition space and to use that education for my products. But yeah, I would really love to see, even like aside from just food, the gap between science and business be bridged a bit more. Because yeah, there's so many benefits to having a scientist on your team and interdisciplinary work and collaboration. I think everyone thinks in such wonderfully different ways that brings up different points. And that's why also like being in feed is great because you'll be in sessions and a participant will ask a question that you wouldn't even think to ask, but it's like a wonderfully relevant question and the answer is really applicable to your business, but you wouldn't have even thought to ask. And so, yeah, I think we need to be collaborators more with scientists. And yeah, I want to see more scientists using their research to create business. And I think it's happening, but we need to become advocators a little bit more.
I love that. I think that's an amazing answer.
Thank you.
So with this journey, what's been your biggest like aha light bulb moment?
So I've had a lot. Like I feel like every day I have a aha moment. So it's hard for me to like come up with one. But it would probably be like when I was sitting in a call with one of our mentors and I just realized you don't have to know everything. And as a business owner, you're not going to know everything about business. Like you're going to try. But building your business, you learn as you go. And so it's okay to not know everything, but also what I really learned from that moment was that the most important part to understand is that you recognize what you don't know. And then you can go to your mentors, to your community, your connections, your network to ask those questions and figure out how to know what you don't know or get people's advice that have been there before you. And that's what has really helped us with Easy Snack is why spend 3 months solving a problem someone already has solved. And that's what I'm saying. The community is amazing to where older, more successful companies that are really busy, founders that don't have a lot of time, will take their time out of their day to talk to us about their problems and allow us to pick their brain and figure out what they did wrong so that we don't have to. And yeah, it's the best part about the community. And so that was my biggest aha moment, was that it's okay to not know, and the best part is that you can ask the community, and that is what has made we would not be where we are today without doing that and realizing that.
I love to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay, it's kind of just wrapping things up here. For someone listening, maybe they're a student or early in their career with an idea for food, but they're maybe not sure of the roadmap of kind of how to get started. What advice would you give them for getting started?
Yeah, so I guess tying in with all that I'm saying is to reach out to whatever entrepreneurial community is closest to you. So start to attend events, even if you don't want to get up there and say pitch yet. Attend pitch competitions just as a participant. Just watch, see what you like, see what the common flow is. The best what I like the most is picking out the pitches that I love the best and figuring out what made them so good. And then I can translate that to my pitch or my business in general. But yeah, it would be, because that was what we did. We obviously, as scientists, we just had this idea and we reached out to Morset at Western Campus, and they had advisors for student, staff, faculty of Western for free. And we went to them and asked basically, where do we go from here? And without actually that advisor, we would not have the roadmap that we do. So I would say try and find people that have been where you want to be and then ask them what they did, because yeah, there's no better teacher than the person who did it themselves.
Great. That's great advice. And I'd say, of course, to look out for those like resources, programs, things that are available.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a continuation on what you just said, but the people supporting and supports as well. So yeah, okay. So thank you so much, Regan. We're not quite done yet. I love to do at the end just a rapid fire, fun kind of questions.
Okay.
So we'll just jump into that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for yourself, do you prefer sweet or savory?
Oh, it changes, but right now, savory.
Nice. Favorite late night snack?
Sorry, what?
Favorite late night snack?
It's my spicy dill pickle Miss Vicky chips. I was like, I would have like a bag a day in university. I'm not like that anymore, but I do enjoy a good bag every week or so.
Yeah, love the chips. All right, so coffee, tea, or smoothie?
Ooh, that's hard. I've been into teas lately. My Earl Grey or London Fogs. Yeah. So I'd say that.
Very
and it's
nice.
winter, so gotta get warm.
Go-to comfort meal after a long week?
I love mac and cheese, specifically pulled pork mac and cheese. But yes, mac and cheese.
And
I love.
what is one kitchen gadget you can't live without?
Oh, I love to bake, so definitely my mom's KitchenAid, because I cannot be stirring forever. So yeah, definitely the KitchenAid, so I can quickly make my cookie dough and bake it quick.
Awesome. All right, favorite fruit or veggie, and your favorite way to snack on it?
I love just eating raspberries. Raspberries are by far like my favorite fruit. And then vegetable, I love carrots. Because they're so easy to just eat. Carrots with dip. Easy snack dip, but even just like ranch or anything like that.
Love it. And what's one word that sums up the future for Easy Snack Co?
Oh, it's hard with one word. Impactful.
Love it. Yeah, that's a kind of hard one to catch you up on the end, but great answer. So thank you so much for taking the time to join me today, Regan. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I really enjoyed. You had very wonderful questions, and I loved answering and sharing my perspectives.
Love to hear it.
Thank you to our listeners for indulging your entrepreneurial appetite with this episode of Friends of FEADies, brought to you by FEAD Canada, our funding partner ISET, and founding partner, the Saskatchewan Food Centre. If anything we have discussed today has ignited an entrepreneurial fire within you, but you're not quite sure how to get started, or you're craving mentorship and coaching to help grow your business, please reach out to us at fead.ca. That's FEAD.ca. Connect with us on social media. We're sprinkled all over the digital landscape, and our team is ready to provide the mentorship and coaching you need to flourish. At FEAD, we're here to empower women in the agri-food industry, so don't hesitate to reach out to us to join our vibrant community of foodpreneurs. Until next time, bake those dreams into reality, stay hungry for success, and continue to nourish your entrepreneurial spirit with FEAD. Bon appetit.